There we are. Hello. I think we're turned off. All right. Looks like we're live again. I hope we're not having issues tonight. I hope you all are coming in. Hello. Somebody's there. Sorry about that. I had a momentary problem. And I think it might be a bouncy night. I have a new setup in front of me. But welcome to Makers Monday number 35. In case you don't know me, or if you're watching us on preview or review, I'm Laura Mester of Laura's Stamping Up Legacy Studio. Hi, Cindy. Welcome in. Trying to figure out which way I got to scoot here to be centered. Hi, Shirley. Come on in, ladies. I hope you all had a good 4th. I know this is still a holiday for some people. I feel like every day is a holiday or no day is a holiday for me, depending on how you look at it. Hi, Sarah. Welcome home. Glad you made it back safe. Hi, Renee. Good. Everybody's coming in. It's great to see you. How are you all? Hi, Sylvia. Great to see you. Let me pull this up here on my my iPad as well, because then I'll have it all ready for when we turn down. I'm not going to chat for that long because we have a big demo that I want to do. So, I'm glad you're watching, Sarah. But yes, so what's coming up? I think a few of you saw the teaser. Our next challenge, Corporate, Shannon from Stampin' Up! Corporate did a follow along event last week that I just lucked into and just came across. And it's my Pick 6 Wonder card challenge is based on that. So I'll introduce that to you tonight, and we can go through kind of how that's going to work. So as far as what's going on, we always talk about Paper Pumpkin. So the next Paper Pumpkin will close as usual on the 10th. If you're interested, I posted a picture of what it was. It's kind of an outdoorsy theme with mountains and a lantern. So it kind of appeals to me. I like anything with trees in it. Hi, Terry. Welcome in. Glad to see you. So that's by the 10th as usual. And in case you didn't see or missed me talking about it, I'm kind of wearing my cheetah pattern, right? Is this a cheetah pattern, Shirley? You're my zoo animal expert. I got a few new shirts. But the designers, this matches up some of the paper in our Big Cat designer series paper in the new annual catalog. We're having our designer series paper sale, 15% off select ones in the new catalog, new annual catalog. You'll see this if you go to the website, which ones are on sale. There's some I want to pick up. I know the pansies are in there. And right in the middle, you see the big cats. They're in there. So a lot of the really nice papers. The tree paper, which I just got, but I always need more paper. But that's one reason I'm doing the Pick 6 Wonder card, is because it highlights designer series paper. And I thought that was a good thing to do considering they're having a sale on it. And the other thing I want to talk about just real quick, before I'm going to turn right down and get talking about this Pick 6 Wonder card that we're going to do. But the next event, the only other event I'm going to have in July, we'll run this challenge card until the 16th. And then during our Facebook Live on this, or not live, Facebook Room on the 17th, we'll award some prizes for what we've all done. So I already did post the cutting guide and instructions and the supplies list as pictures in both the group and on the page. There is a PDF of that. And for the life of me, some technology things escape me, and I couldn't figure out how to put the PDF onto Facebook. No matter what I tried, it wasn't there. I saved it, and I saw that I saved it, and then when I went to paste it, I couldn't find it. Does anyone else struggle with technology like that? But anyway, I do have it as a PDF. So if anyone doing the card challenge would like the PDF, message me or just tell me in here in the comments. Yes, please email me the PDF for the Pick 6 Wonder card challenge. So I can just do that, and you'll have everything to look at in a printed form. So anyway, without further ado, let me go ahead and turn us down. I had a lot of fun doing this because I worked along with, it was like a 2-hour demo. I'm not going to do that 2 hours. It might be a little longer than normal, but she did all the cards, you know, and it makes 14 cards. So I'm just going to highlight the 5 different designs today when I talk to you. But it was, and you'll have more flexibility because you won't be following along with me trying to do it as I was with them. And I'll show you some of the modifications I'm making for the second set that I'm creating, that I didn't do for the first set. Because the first set, I had my standard items from the supply list, and I pretty much stuck to that. So let's turn down. Hang with me, folks. It's going to be a little bumpy because I noticed that this new setup has me kind of wingy-wongy with my easel. So, don't you love those words I make up? Wingy-wongy. All right, here we go. Let me see what we look like there. See if we're set up and go in the right direction. That's not too bad. See, I got to go left or right. This way or the other way? I can't think backwards. That was the wrong way. Of course. So this way. That would make sense. It looks more centered now. Okay. So, I get my goodies out of the way. This is a different table I'm working on. And it's wide. This is in the center of it. It's kind of hard to reach all the bits I need to reach. But this is what this is the cutting guide. I talked about the PDF. PDF has 3 pages in it. So there's a cutting guide. There's a material list. And then there's a set of instructions. So that's, and I think there's also a picture of the cards that were created. Not mine, the ones that were created. And there'll be some verbiage in here that looks like they're talking to the demos, but that's okay. We're allowed to share this. Otherwise, I'd get my hand slapped. So, one thing, the paper I used, I'll show you real quick. When you're doing a challenge like this or one of these one-sheet wonder things, they almost always involve designer series paper. And a lot of times you're trying to, I don't know, I get my designer series paper and it's a prized thing and I don't use it, you know. I've gotten better about that, but in the past I would get it and say, oh, I love all this, and you're almost afraid to use it all. So I have this, and I love this paper when I got it. Was this 2 years ago or 1 year ago? It was 2019. So, okay, that was only a year and a half ago. But this is the paper that I'm going to use. So I know it says get a pack of designer series paper, but you're going to use 6 sheets of it. So, and you'd want to get 6 different sheets if you can. So this is the paper I'm going to use. You want to pay attention if your paper's directional or not. By that I mean if it has a top or a bottom. This one happens to have reindeer, so there's obviously going to be a top and a bottom to the reindeer. And it has trees. It has a few things that are directional. So that's important to keep in consideration when you're cutting. All right. So I showed you this. This has all the cuts. I've actually gone ahead and done the cuts because I know you guys know how to cut. I will tell you one tip with cutting, especially with designer series paper. Since you're cutting 6 of these, I cut 3 at a time. So that'll really help you get through the cutting much quicker. So, so here underneath are my cuts, and I just followed along with that. And I've done my cuts and following I've got my little pieces pulled out from my cards already. But so when you get done, you'll have your little piles of all your cuts, and the instructions will tell you what to do with them. That if your paper's directional, which the reindeer and the deer were, that you made sure that when you cut it, you would lay it so that the antlers are at the top. The top of the page is at the top of your cutter up here. So, so that's the cutting part. And we can set this aside because, like I said, I have my pieces over here. I am going to show you one little cut because there's one card where you make just a partial cut into the designer series paper. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The other things you needed in addition to the 6 sheets of your designer series, let me set this over here. Hold on. I don't need that anymore at the moment. You'll want bases, card bases. So when I did the original ones, and I think you've probably seen the picture of that. Oh, let me swipe left so I can see what you're saying. Oh, okay. Yes, this is for 6x6 paper, Cindy. But if you've got 12x12, just cut it down to 6x6. I know some people who aren't scrapbookers take all their 12x12 and they put it, they cut it down to the 6x6 to store. I don't do that because I'm a scrapbooker. But in addition to your designer series paper, you're going to want 7 pieces of coordinating cardstock. Now these, of course, are cut down, the original cards I made. And when I made my original set, I pulled out 7 different colors for my bases that coordinated with, it's a little bright, that coordinated with the paper I was using. So now when I made my, which is nice, it's very colorful, which is kind of out of my comfort zone. I tend to have a little more neutral on some things, but and you can do it either way. You can decide, hold on. Let's get that turned down. Okay. You can decide to do it that way, or you can decide to do it a different way. But so the first set I did really colorful. And then the next set, this one goes here. I decided for today to coordinate with the Christmas, I was just going to use all 7 sheets as crumb cake. So, and I want to show you one quick tip with cutting the bases, which I never thought about this. I cut a lot of bases. I make a lot of cards. I think you've all seen that. And for some reason, this never occurred to me. But, because when you make cards, you got to score them, right? So I was always cutting my base and then putting it back in and scoring, you know, the 8 1/4, whatever, scoring my 8 1/4 at 4 1/4. So you can score it before you make that cut to cut your 2 bases. So take your paper so that you're going to score at 4 1/4. These are going to be all 5 1/2 this way. But they call them hamburger ones because they're wide instead of narrow. You can have 2 kinds of bases for a card where you cut it at 4 1/4 and score it at 5 1/2. So you'll have a narrow base, which is usually a tall card, which is to say a vertical card instead of a horizontal card. But I'm going to do horizontal cards for all of these. That's how I've cut them. You can turn it on its side, but they're cut the wide way at 5 1/2. But I'm going to score it first, because when you score it first, I always score from the bottom so I don't mess up. So since these are wide cards, they're scored at 4 1/4. Measure twice, score or cut once. So if you score it before you cut it, it's one quick little time saving. Because then I've got it scored, my whole big 8 1/2 by 11 sheet. Now I'm going to cut it. And at that point, and when you're doing 14 cards, it is a time saver. So now, these are already scored. And you did 2 faster than it would be to put them each back in and score them a second time. So I know that seems like a silly little thing, but I thought that was a little time saver that I had never thought of. So that was the one little cutting tip there. So let's move on to the cards. Now that we're done with the cutting tips. One other thing you need, and this is on the list, is either Whisper White for your sentiments or Very Vanilla. I chose Very Vanilla because, and I like to save a page out of the old catalogs with things that I have, or save the whole catalog, because then you have your listing of what your colors are. And Whisper, a Very Vanilla was actually a color that was in this DSP, which isn't that common. They usually tend to have Whisper White. So I'm using Very Vanilla for my sentiments. So that's something else you'll need. Now, let's get up here a little more. Let's go on to the cards. There's 5 different designs. The first design, and this is the one where I'm going to do a little cutting of that paper, is I consider this the little quilt card. This is design number 1 on our sheet. I better keep my instructions up here to make sure I'm doing this right. So this has a little pattern that I think looks like a quilt pattern in there. Because you've got 4 different, you've got 2 pieces of, small pieces of Designer Series paper, but you've done a trick to turn back the edges so you see all 4 sides. So I call this one the quilt. It's called the cube. So this is design 1. So to do this, you have to do, there's one other cut that's marked on that page, and you can almost not see it, but here is, I went ahead and got most of the bits together, so hopefully it wouldn't take as long as it might. So I'm going to set that one aside and the base aside for a moment. These are the 2 little squares. The size of those was design 1 cubes. These are the 2.5 by 2.5 squares. So what you want to do, and hopefully maybe there's one of these that's light. Do they matter directionally? Probably not for this one because it's a cube. So this, I want the lighter one because it'll make it easier. If you have one that's a little bit lighter, gravitate to that. What we need to do is cut into the center of this card, only halfway through, 1 3/4 inch slit into the center of this. This is the one tricky part that I wanted to make sure I showed you all. So, and to cut into it, you'll be cutting down. If you watch, and it's hard to see unless you're here. It's hard to see when you're here. But there are marks on this ruler. So I got to go to 1 3/4 on here. So best to be a little over. Don't go too much. So cut a slit 1 3/4 at the halfway mark. So if this is 2.5, that will be 1 1/4 each way. So 1 1/4 is half of this square, and then we want to cut into it, cut a slit 1 3/4. And that's what they said. So you've got the piece centered, and it's tricky to see. Here's my 2, so I got to go back 1/4 from that. So I think I have to go right about, hold on, I got to get in the picture. Hey, I did it. 1 3/4. Maybe you could put a little piece of white tape on your blade to help you see it, or you could snip it with your snips as well and hand hold it. I might have cut a little bit too far. I just won't fold back too far if I did. So that's cut at 1 3/4. So then what you want to do is put these together. So stick it together, and once it's stuck together, so you've threaded it through that slit, you'll need some snail or a little bit of glue. And glue, hold on, I'm going to want to flip up, which is the edge that flips? This one. So you'll want to glue, if I do it wrong, we'll just have to cut more paper and do it right the next time. And it did say in the instructions, if everything doesn't line up, to just trim the edges. But you don't want to glue down the flip up part. You want to glue the back end where it's not lifted, where the slit isn't. So again, see how the slit is here? What you want to do is tack down this back corner of that. I'm going to use some glue. Just put a little glue under there. Tack that down for a minute and hold it. Make sure I'm square. I'm going to turn it around. And now this one's flippy, right, over here? Yep. So I'm going to tack down in between the two main pieces, this corner, with that glue, and sing a little song. Everyone still out there? Who else was hiding inside with a dog while the fireworks were going off? I know I was. I had my grand dog here. So those two are tacked down. So the flippy parts, flip it back like this. See, because then you get the other color going. Hi, Terry. Did you all see fireworks? And then you want to tack down the fold that you just folded. So I found when I used snail, it didn't hold as well as I wanted. So I'm going to put a little glue there and hold it. Sorry, I'm jiggly. And then you got to get your other flap and go this way. So what you see is that you've got all four colors. So to me, and Cindy, you're still there, right? You're the quilter among us, or at least I know you quilt a lot. Maybe somebody else is a closet quilter. This reminded me of quilting, so with paper. So there you have a little square quilt to put into the center of your card. So, and then as we were working along, we did all of our sentiments at one time and either punched them out or cut them out. And then we also had a little bit of ribbon. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of this. And if you use glue, it gives you time to do a little wiggle with it. I thought it was pretty well lined up. Maybe I'll go this way. It looks better that way. So, I guess, is this directional at all? Not when you have a cube going. I think I like the red on top. All right, so just put that on there. Kind of towards more the top because your ribbon's going to hang down. Now, you can change this up and do it how you want. I'm not going to add the embellishments today. There's a little ribbon that I cut. This is an older ribbon. My little trick with ribbon is I have a little masking or scotch tape here. So I'll take a little scotch tape. That's too much. And I'll put that down. So, because you're going to be putting the sentiment on top of here. So, no, I just might need that other bit. This is a big piece of ribbon. Bigger than I used for the other set of cards. Because remember, your sentiment's going to cover that tape up. So I'm going to dimensionalize that up. If I can find my dimensionals. There they are. Get my take your pick tool. I don't know how I'd live without this thing. I use it for an awful lot. Get that up. Come here, you guys. So I figured since this makes 14 cards, I'd already made 14 thinking of you thankful cards. So I thought, oh, I might as well dive into Christmas because I can always use more Christmas cards. How many Christmas cards do you all send out? Shirley, I know you send out some, quite a bit. I usually would send 40 before I started doing Stampin' Up. You lit off your own fireworks, Cindy. I'm reading what you said. Puts it up there, then it disappears. I imagine there were quite a few things going on down by the river. All right, so this is this one. And I'll go later and put some embellishments on it. I just got glue on the back of there. If you notice this one, I did put a few little sparkles on there. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use. I have what also came, there was a Memories and More pack that came with that paper. So I have all these bits still to work through. So I like these little stars. I may end up using those. Or I've got some sparkles. And then you can just put them on wherever you want. Well, heck, I might as well finish it. I think I'll do this one. I might just do 2 on either side. Oh my goodness, Shirley, that is a lot. I don't send that many, but I send a lot more than I used to now that I'm a Stampin' Up! Rep. I'd say I probably doubled, so I probably send, 80 or so. That's a lot of cards, Shirley. So if you're doing something like this, that's helpful for you then. If you can make multiples, I would imagine that would be a godsend. And remember, most people work quicker than I do. But that's the first one. And this makes 3 cards? Yeah, it tells you on the instructions. So there's one. The next one is, now when they did this one, this is the one that has, this made 4 cards. So it has these 3 rectangles on it. And you were supposed to, sorry for the wiggles, you were supposed to do them randomly. And I'm not a good randomizer. If they're not straight, I can't make them random nicely. Or at least I don't think I can. So when I was doing this the next time, I wanted a different layout. Which you can do that. You guys can change different layouts. I've seen a ton of different layouts since this. But I'm going to do this with my next one. So you can get creative with this. I saw people that put, excuse me, background colors. I did not do that because I was trying to stay true to the supply list so that you guys could see that. But I'm just going to go ahead and put these in there like that and line them up real quickly. I'll try to be real quick. Alrighty. There's one. So are those business people and family? Or do you send for an organization, Shirley? I don't know why it doesn't keep showing me what you guys are saying. Oh, here you are. Well, it might be easier if you all talk amongst yourself. That's why I like when we do the room and we're all just hanging. So this one, just kind of eyeball it up if you're doing it this way. If you're doing it the other way, like I said, they randomly just tilted them. I mean, that's a different. If you can randomize, good. I guess I'm more of an orderly person, or I try to be. I don't know. What's your style, girls? Who's random and who's orderly? Co-workers, friends, and family. That is a lot of co-workers then. You must work at a big, big place. They better appreciate you, Shirley. Not everybody sends cards anymore. I mean, I think more people are sending them since the pandemic, but I know I send a lot. I probably send over the course, I'm sure I send a card a day. So, and I do make a lot of cards for my mailman to try to thank him. So, are those evenly spaced? No, but no one's going to notice. And then I just did a banner one. I used my punch, this punch for the banner ones. I don't know. I think this is still in the catalog. I'll have to take a look. If not, they have a different banner punch. Or you can always just make a flag on your own. And then I was going to somehow put this ribbon somewhere and add some things with it. So let's dimensionalize this real quick. This one's quicker than the other one. Well, we had to cut that one. Ooh, it's getting hot in this room. Anybody else hot out there? Random, because I can't line things up. Well, you're going to love this one. Sylvia, oh, orderly like me. You make 50 cards each month, Shirley. Wow. I got to step up my game. I got to keep up with you. Some of you are really, really taking me to task. I don't know how many I make a month. I do keep track. I write down. I try to keep track of all of them I send. You're chilled. Oh my goodness. I'm in one of the hotter rooms of my house. It doesn't get the air. So I'm pretty warm right now, but I haven't been outside, that's for sure. I've been hiding inside. I don't do summer well. I'm a winter person. Just going to line this up. Maybe I didn't line it up too well. You can usually get your dimensionals back up pretty quickly. All right, girls, help me figure out where to put the bow. Where should I put the bow? Oh, I'd love to be up there, Sylvia. You know where I'd be if I was up north. I'd be at camp. Should the bow go down here, the bottom right, in the middle? I don't like the middle. Underneath, or over in the top left? You get to vote on it. I think to the top. It is really hot. I'm going to put lines of 3 embellishments there. Bottom right, bottom right. Okay, everybody wants bottom right. Middle? No. Well, look what I'm going to do in addition. Here's my little schematic. I am going to put 3 embellishments here and here to balance. I just don't know where I'm going to put the bow. Bottom right, bottom right. Okay, so right here. All right, that's where I'm going to put the bow. I am going to use, I don't have my roll with me, so I have the little glue dots. I think we sell glue dots in the back. I know we sell the mini glue dots. I don't know if we sell the sheets of them. These are from the Paper Pumpkins. So let's put this maybe right there, and then we'll get the little top off of it. These are really sticky that come with the Paper Pumpkins. I forgot to bring my little trash can in here though, girls. Okay, so we're going to put him right there. I just tied this bow. This is challenging ribbon because it has X's on one side and dashes on the other. So, and then what I'm going to do is use, here they are, these little stars. I think that I have to use these. This is a work in progress. I haven't used these before. But let's put little stars here. And we'll just see if that balances. If not, I bet you I can pick them off later. It's a tricky thing. How do you know when you're putting too much on, right? No, I've lost it. Here we are. What can't you use very well? The little, the glue dots, Sylvia? Do you have a take your pick tool or something like this? If you have something like this little take your pick tool, I've learned a lot of tricks with that. You can pick those up. Then you can pick off the paper with it. I've seen people use them to pick off the embellishments easier because I struggled before I started doing that as well. So anyway, I should just go ahead and skip on to the next thing here. Yeah, those aren't perfectly lined up, but you know what? No one's going to notice. These are tricky. So then anyway, I don't think I'm going to finish this because it's taking too long. But then I was going to put 3 of them up here. Come on, get off. No, it's stuck to me. But the thing about using the take your pick tool over your thumb or finger or anything is that it's much thinner than any finger. So you can get in and around wherever you need to get. And you can position where you think you want your little object to go better. Kind of just move them around till you get them just where you want them. So yeah, so if you haven't used it yet, pull it out. It's the answer to your woes about dealing with little embellishments or little sticky things. If I just try to guess that, I'm going to put it wrong, but I didn't stick it down too hard. Come here, you. Move. Here he goes. And you cannot do these fiddly things, but... All right, so there is number 2, which was the one with the 3 bits that were supposed to be random, but I changed it up. All right, the next one is this one. It has a belly band, as they call it. Oh, we do have one more bit of cutting to do. So anyway, this one's the belly band. I might speed it up a little bit because I don't want us to be forever. So this one has the 2 pieces like this. And after you cut them, I did that because it takes me forever to decide, but you're going to have 12 different patterns between the 6. So just, you'll want to play with them all to figure out which ones you want to use where. And maybe you won't want to use certain ones and you might use something more than once. But you can play with that. Now when it comes to this one, you're going to overlap these a little bit to get so that your outer edges of your card are even. This one here, the maroon one, to get an even framing, you're going to have to overlap your card, the inside bits of these a bit. So just go ahead and get a little glue, rub it around. If you don't use glue, I like glue. Trick is just not to use too much, but I like it because you can squiggle it around a little bit to get it where you want it. I know some people prefer snail. I prefer certain things for certain jobs. So, and anymore, I have found as I'm getting things back from my husband that's been away and my son that was at college, some of the things I do with regular snail, even cards, don't hold up. Things start to fall off. So I'm trying to use things that are a little more permanent, which I've only been doing this a couple years, so I'm learning too. I don't know. Shirley, if you make that money, you've probably figured out when you need things more permanent and what your favorite adhesives are. So, and the belly band goes on. Right, like this. So it doesn't matter that they overlap because this covers it up. And when I was first doing this one, I almost did a fussy cut. I did it for another one, but I had a banner of Merry Christmas. I was going to put this little fussy cut Merry Christmas on there. The key to fussy cutting is to always leave a little bit of white space around your image. But I wanted to put the ribbon and then I didn't figure out how I wanted the ribbon, so I changed my mind on that one. So this one, and I'm going to skip ahead with this, but I'm going to do with this like I did with the first one, and the same thing, and probably put the embellishments the same. So that's card number 3. So let's just move along with that one. I'm getting kind of sticky, my glue. Let me get one wipe. Always keep baby wipes somewhere, girls. I got sticky paws. Sorry, I'm shaking everything. Double-sided tape from Sam, since we make so many. Right, I've got that double-sided tape too. I use that a lot for scrapbooking. I don't even belong to Sam's Club, but there's a friend of mine, Melissa, if you're watching, Melissa Hurd, or one of the other girls in this group from St. Philip's that I scrapbook with sometimes, she'll go and run and get that double-sided Sam's tape. That's serious tape, though. I mean, you put that down, you're not moving anywhere with what you do. That scares me. This one you need to see, because this is the hearts. So this is a little tricky. So this is number 4. So and you have 2 equal-sized pieces of paper, So you'll have one like that and then the other. I've seen different styles of this. I'm going to create a different style. This is the style that we did straight from the demo that we did last week with the demonstrators. There's a die or a punch that has this little punch on it. This is an old Stampin' Up! Punch, but that's how I did my little notch to put the ribbon through that tag. But anyway, this was what I created that day. I'm going to make this design instead with today's card. So we'll see how I do. So what you do with this one is you actually fussy cut your heart. And that's what I did with, and you fussy cut it, and then this other heart is flipped around from the thing. And I know I'm not the straightest cutter, but it comes out okay. So you want to take which one you want to fussy cut. And you can look at your colors because that might be important when you're doing this. So I decided that I wanted to fussy cut the heart out of this one. And then this would be the reverse that lines that, like this one does. So, so just take and fold it. You can make your heart any size you want, but just, you can make it a skinny or a fatter depending on your layout. But I saw one where they offset the hearts, so I'm going to try that. And I wouldn't normally do this, but I did this so I could show you where I'm going with it. And you can create, that's the beauty of this one, that you can create as you want. So I'm going to have to heart cut it. All right. So, and just like we're little kids in kindergarten, cutting out things. Cut your heart. Oh, the pressure's on. Didn't this take you back? Why, making Valentine's, right? Okay. And then, my fingers are sticky from glue again. Go ahead and just do a little bit of a outline. So that'll give you the heart. And just try to keep it even if you can, but it's all right. It'll look good when you put it down. Trust me, I was doing this live trying to keep up with them. I'm like, oh. And then when I was done, I was like, hey, it doesn't look half bad. So then what you'll do is you'll open, and you'll have a little bit of waste then, which I don't have a trash can. Yes, I do. So then you'll have your heart that you open like that. And then you'll do, I'm going to line this one here. And this is your, and then, so instead of putting it inside of it, and I know some people when they did it and put it inside of it, they also popped up the inner heart with dimensionals, which looked cute. But I'm going to just offset it. And then I might pop up the heart as it's out there. This one I'll lay down, obviously. So let's start putting this one together. So if you're doing this, and of course you're doing your multiples, they'll go much quicker. But I'm not a much quicker person. I'm that way with my scrapbooking too. See if I can see what you're saying. So I get to go away on a retreat. Woohoo! Guess where I'm going, girls? I'm heading down to Nancy, Kentucky. I'm going to go to RTC this week. See ya, Sylvia. Thanks for stopping in. And I'm going to use glue on this little heart as well, just because it'll be a little bit of line. Just try not to get too much glue on there. All right, so this heart goes down somewhere here. And then I'm going to dimensionalize the other heart. Okay. Let's see where my Merry Christmas goes. Ooh, that's a long Merry Christmas. Okay, if Merry Christmas is here, let's see. I have to put my heart maybe up here then. Or I could put it inside of it, girls. Another moment. I think I like it offset better. Yeah, I do. Just got to keep track of where the Merry Christmas is. Right there. I should have made skinnier hearts, right? Next time. Or this was the other option, was that I could have done, but I think I've got too many round things, and I like that being directional that way. I don't have a ribbon, though. We'll have to figure something out. Dimensionals, where'd they go? Here they are. Let's get these going. That's a big heart. And then we've got one more, and it has a cut yet that you haven't seen. So hopefully you can stay tuned so you don't lose you all. Okay, here's this one. So let's get those. Oh, I'll have a cleanup crew come in later. Just like they do on the holidays, right? Yeah, I'm the cleanup crew. Offset that with the dimensional. And then I'm also going to dimensionalize the Merry Christmas. I don't have any that little right now, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut a few of these so that we don't waste anything and we have the words we need. All right. Maybe 2 or 3 more. There's one. I love dimensionals. I tend to use more than other people. I do like our dimensionals. I've tried buying the other kind of tape from the Dollar Tree, and then when I cut that, it gets all gummy on my scissors. I don't know if anyone else tries to use that. Hey, Sarah, you're back. See you, Renee. Oh, Renee, you didn't leave. Sylvia did. All right, so here's the Merry Christmas. I'm just going to put it right down here. All right, we need a ribbon. I thought I would do green, but no, green's not cutting it. And I don't have the red here. Yes, I do. I have the red. I'm not feeling the ribbon. I'll come back to this later for embellishments. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I may just put, they didn't have it. I think I'll just put some little stars off of here. And I think I'm going to use these on the envelopes. That'll look cute. So, oh, if I have gold stars, that's definitely, I put gold star down here. That would be cute. All right, we'll worry about that later. Let's move on to the last one, because there's a cut you didn't see. So when we did the belly bands for this one, and the belly bands went across there, you cut 6 of those, but you only made 3 cards. So that means that there's 3 more belly bands that we need to use up. And instead of throwing these away, we're going to cut these in half and make 1 more card out of it. So right here, let's get in here and cut this in half. What were these? Were these 3? These were 3 1/2. So to be cut in half, cut in half. Yeah. So these are what? 3 1/2. So what's half of 3 1/2? 1 1/2 plus 1/4. So 1 3/4. Right, girls? I knew I should have taken more math classes in school. Would have helped me in my couponing and my car. Oh, I'm not going to cut all 6 of these, though. Oh, no, there's only 3. I can cut 3 at a time. I have found. How many sheets of paper can you cut at a time, Shirley? I know what your favorite cutter is, but if you're making that many cards, you're not cutting 1 at a time. Here we go. So then you've got 6 little pieces. So the last card, and it only makes 1, is this card. Sorry for the shakes. All right. So this one has the 6 little pieces in the center with a ribbon in that. So that's a nice card. But I saw a design I wanted to try other than this one with the same 6 pieces. I saw other people do other things and bring more colors in, but trying to stay true to the format. I designed a card that would be a vertical. And right here. And I am going to play with it here. And this is where you get to see the thing of switching things around to find what you want, what colors you want to use. So if you want to use one of every color, that would be all of these. But this is not showing up well on this card, so I might change my mind on that one. So maybe, and what's this one? I like that one. So let's see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so one here, maybe. And then one here. Maybe I'll frame them. And then, what's this one? Well, maybe I'll just do it this. You don't have to have everyone be a different color. And then, I gotta get over this so I can look. So I'm going to line them up like this. So I think you're getting the idea for this one. And then I needed some sort of sentiment for the middle. And I'm going to do this popped up. And I think I'm going to put the ribbon on it somehow here. So that was the, oops, I just threw it down. But that was the final card right there. So it would be all lined up, glued down. I'd pop up the sentiment. I don't need to do that. This is running long. So I might put maybe a little embellishment there. So let me turn you up quick, girls. Put this, I don't want to see me. One cut at a time, that is a lot of cuts. All right, here we go. Hold on, girls, coming back. Got anybody left? I got a few of you. I know that was probably really long. I debated putting you through all that, girls, but. Okay, so what'd you think? Now I'm upside down on here. This doesn't make sense to me. There it goes. I'm seeing what you say on my iPad over here, so I can see what you say up here too. There we go. So that'll be our next card challenge. You don't have to make all 14 cards if you're in a thing, but at least get it together and try to create at least one of them. But honestly, I followed along with the online last Thursday evening, and I had 14 cards done by the end of the live with the demonstrator support people. So it went by pretty quickly. As you can see, I know it took a while for me to show you, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. So go ahead, let me know for sure if you want me to send you the PDF, and I can email that to you, which will probably be much easier than looking at the pictures that I posted. And so that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching along. I'll put more postings in the group. But take care. Stay cool, everybody. Go find a nice cool drink. I'm going to go get one. I've got my water right here, but that's not cutting it. I need a glass of sangria or something. The next event we'll do is the Facebook room, where we'll do some rewards for this card challenge that you're completing. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. It's great being with you.